Hi everyone, this is Halak and welcome to another Java tutorial session. In this tutorial I will be discussing variable length argument list. Now in the past we've been exposed mostly to we see mostly fixed length argument lists. So for example in the main method the main takes one argument, right, and it happens to be an array of type string. Okay, so now we're going to be investigating variable length argument list type of methods. So let me start by creating a method that takes a variable number of arguments. Return doubles. I'm just going to create a simple one and let's call it average because we can pass in any numbers of arguments and then we can take the average, right? So now notice these three dots that I'm putting in, that I'm typing, right? They're ellipses and they represent variable length arguments list. Okay. Now one thing to note is that what happens, what Java does is that when you pass it in, when you invoke the average method with any numbers of arguments, what happens is that the arguments are converted, or basically they're taken and they're converted into an array. Okay, and you see the reason why I say that. Okay, so bear with me for now. So let's say total, right? Because we want to take the total before we're going to take the average. I'll be using an enhanced loop, right? So D, and we're going to iterate through this. So again, an array, right? So that's the reason why we can iterate through numbers, because it is essentially an array. Okay, and then I'll add it, add the arguments, and then we're going to return the average. Okay, so here, before we can do that, we have to know the number of arguments passed in. And you notice that when I press this dot, right, this length field comes up. And if you may recall from our tutorial on arrays and single dimension arrays, when you actually use the dot operator and use the length field, right, it gives you the number of elements in the array. So again, this is what I was saying earlier, that this gets converted to an array. Okay, so now that we have a variable length argument list method, I'm going to actually use it, right? Okay, so one easy way is that I'm just going to print it out. Okay. Alright, so there. So now I can actually say enter like 10, 20, 30, right, for here, right, and print that out. Then I can do the same thing for more numbers if I want to. There's some more averages, right? Okay. So, or I can just do 2. Alright, so if I run it, it'll print out the average. It's just compiling right now. Right? So again, this is 60 divided by 3 is 20, right? So we get the average. 10 plus 20 is obvious, is 30. Divided by 2 is 15. Right? So there we have it, right? Now you think about it. There is something that in the past I've actually pretty much used this format of print. However, there is a type of formatted print, all right, that actually is in its own. It's also a variable length argument list. Okay, so printf instead of print line here is a method that takes a variable any numbers of arguments. So let's see how that works. Okay, so let's just say that. Okay, so for example, if I have, so I'm going to do D and a tab, another D, right? And then I'll do an end line, all right? So here, well, let's not say D, let's say F. Okay. Now, if I actually invoke average, all right, let's do that again. So let's invoke average with, I'm just going to copy it, so I don't have to type it. All right, so I put it here, all right, and here. Okay, so here I'm calculating two averages, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna, let me see when I print it out. All right. See that? Well, I didn't do the actual formatting in terms of truncating it, all right. But it demonstrates to you that, okay, well, let's make it even more obvious, right? That it takes a variable number of arguments. Oops. Okay. And then F. All right. So let's do the last one as well. Okay, there you go. Now print that out. See that? Right. You see that formatted print is also a variable length argument list type of method. Okay, and the one thing to note is that you can have, you see, if you actually have a method, it has to be the last parameters as well. So for example, if we have another method, all right, so I'm going to just take another method, all right, so I say, I'm not going to return anything. I'm just going to say some method, right? Again, it's not a very good name, right? But say that I have like string t, right? And now if I want to do the ellipses, it has to be the last one, okay? All right. Sorry, this is string. All right. So there you go. However, if you place it, if it's not the last one, Java will will complain about it. All right. See that? So it results in a compilation error. Okay. So it has to be the last parameter in your in the signature. Okay, the method signature here. All right. Now, if we actually go to Chrome, right? So here, and you can see, all right. So printf here, see that? Printf, the formatted printf that I use, and you see that it takes an object type, right? So any number of arguments after that. Okay. The reason why it's object type is that it doesn't know what type we're going to actually use. Okay, so these are here are the objects that follow. All right. Well, this is the one we actually use, string, right? And then the arguments is any numbers, and it's basically doing it. The reason why it's object is that because we really don't know what type we're going to actually put on we're going to actually print out. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you again next time. Take care. Bye.